Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another show of We the Veterans and In the Community TV. Talking about In the Community TV, we have these guys. Hey, what y'all guys doing out here today?
Well, we're with CWA Local 2108, and we're currently on strike against Verizon Communications. We've spent over 10 months trying to negotiate a fair contract since the beginning of August, and we finally come to a point where we need to go out on strike in order to get our bargaining position where we need it to be so that we can have a fair and equitable contract.
Tell us what happened if y'all guys won't be out here.
So what will happen if we weren't here is that a corporation, Verizon Communications, makes on an average $1.5 billion a month in profits. Our CEO, Lowell McAdams, makes over 200 times what the average worker does at Verizon. So our upper level management is greedy. They want to get all of the benefits of the company and slash our jobs. He wants to move jobs overseas as far as the call centers that the community calls in when you want service, when you need to repair your service, when you want to add service. He wants to gut our pension, our health care, our retirees. There's a lot of things that need to happen, not just with Verizon, but in the community in general. This is systemic and where we are losing the middle class in America, okay? Because it's not just Verizon that's doing these things. It's all of corporate America. It's a race to the bottom. Where we run into issues as a community is we're so busy fighting for scraps, saying, I'll do this job cheaper, or a corporation will go, if you don't take whatever I'm telling you that you're worth, then I'm going to have to take your jobs overseas. And it's simply not true. You can't tell me that you profit $1.5 billion a month. That's $1.5 billion a month. But yet, if you want to give me $1 raise an hour, oh, we got to shut down this whole operation and take it over to China or Indonesia. We simply can't pay this. But yet, you'll get a 16% raise if you're top CEO, make $18 million a year. It just doesn't make sense. It's just greed, greed, greed. And we're out here not only to fight for ourselves, but all the people in our position, which is generally what used to be the middle class before it was become eroded.
You know, first of all, we want to applaud what you're doing. A lot of time the community, they don't understand what y'all guys doing and the sacrifices y'all making. I think the community needs to support you more.
Absolutely.
What would you like to say to the community for us? Because sometimes they split the community up from what you're doing, and they make us against them. What do you want to say about that?
So this has been a really positive experience out on this line. There's been a lot of curiosity.
Community support.
Yep. And
a lot of people.
Most people come out, just like yourself, sir, and want to know exactly what's going on. And once we let them know why we're out here and what we're doing, there's empathy there, you know, because we live in this community. We service the community. The people that are driving by, they're our neighbors, they're our family, they're our friends, they might even be our children. So everybody understands the plight that we're in. And we get thumbs up, we get beeps, because we, as being part of a union, have a collective voice to where we can actually, not just me yelling about the problem, but I got 40,000 other employees that are currently out on strike now, and we can hit hard. And we don't just do it for ourselves. It isn't just, oh, I want to take all those profits. I want what's fair. I want to be able to have a career where I can send my kids through college. I don't have to worry about if I'm going to be evicted from my house. I want to put in a good day's worth of work for a decent wage.
You know, as a veteran, a lot of us are going through the same issues. So it's like not just looking at what you're doing, but a lot of people are fighting now just to crawl back and get some kind of living. There's a big campaign going on right now, and you're talking about helping the family. You're talking about the prices going up and their money going in their pocket. What do you want to say about also women getting more money as well, the middle class rising whenever families get more money?
Knock on wood, being part of the union, I get paid the same as the guy gets paid at my pay scale. I know out in the real world it doesn't happen that way, but I've worked 33 years. What he does, I can do. They give us the proper training, and we go out there that we have the tools, and we can do the job and do the best job for the people out there. And that's where we want to be. We don't want to be out here striking, but when you have corporate greed as bad as it is, this is where we need to be right now, to get the voice out to the public and let everybody know you can't diminish the middle class. That's what we are. We're here to stay.
So I'm hearing there's a advantage for females being part of the union.
Absolutely.
A lot of times you hear the opposite, that the media portrays there's a disadvantage going on with the union.
Absolutely.
Speak a little bit about that, please.
No, it's a true advantage being part of the union, because I get treated as fairly as the guys do. Pay-wise, I get the same thing they do, and I'm expected to do the same thing I do. I may not climb as well as them, and I don't like to climb, but if I have to do it, I have to do it. They train us to do the exact same things they do. When I first came in, I worked in an office, and I talked to my customers every day, and I loved the job. But it got to the point that I needed a change, and I came outside, and I love being outside. And the first day they said, strip that wire, I kept breaking it, but I can strip the wire with the best of them now because they've trained me properly. But,
Well, I applaud what y'all guys doing. Keep up the good work. Anything we could do. By the way, have any other media been out here interviewing y'all?
No.
Yeah. I want to go back to the wage inequality that you spoke about, right? The reason that Tina and I make the same amount, we're treated as people, not as male, female,
Right. There's no
white,
discriminatory.
black.
Right.
That's because we have a collective bargaining agreement, and these things have been negotiated through the union. This isn't the company telling us that we're equal, okay? Because if that was the case, there would be differentiations, right? But because we are under a collective bargaining agreement, it says if you do this job, regardless of who you are, you
get
make
paid.
these wages. This isn't a corporate thing. This is a union thing. So the people that say being a minority in a union is a bad thing, I say that that's an uninformed statement,
Right.
because most unions have a structured tier system for their wages. It's only when you're at a at-will employment job where the management gets to decide how much you make or what your compensation is for doing that job. And we all know that with people, there's good people and bad people, and there's good decisions and bad decisions. So if you let it up to an individual to take care of another individual, it may or may not be the way it should be. But we have defined benefits because of the union.
I want to say again, thank you so much for what y'all guys doing out there. And that was a real good lesson, because a lot of people don't hear that. The media and other outlets portray unions as something bad for business, but we hear something else is going on. So once again, we want to thank you for what you're doing. There's a lot of support. I see everybody blowing their horn and whatnot. The morale is high, you know, so you guys doing a good job. Keep it up. Ladies and gentlemen, back to the studio.